Hi everybody and welcome to Flex and Reflex Sunday Sit Down. Normally I do this outside, but it's a bit earlier today because we're going to have a really hot day. And it's so glary out there at the moment that the sun's going to be right in my face. So I thought I would just do this inside. So I've got some fantastic questions today, which kind of implies previous ones aren't fantastic. They're all good, but just today they're just really cool. So let's jump into it. This one is kind of I've had this sort of before, but maybe it's a slightly different take. I've got a bunch of questions, so I'm kind of filtering the ones to answer here. Where was it? I just saw it. Here we go. How do you balance intensity and recovery in your training sessions to avoid burnout? So the key here is there's a couple of things to do here. I mean, personally, I'm doing 3 sessions of strength training a week. I did a bonus one last night, which was about 27 minutes, which is really just around arms. The key is making sure that you are pushing yourself and you've got some goals around each and every workout and you're consistently progressing. The way you recover is through fueling your body with the right nutrients and also rest. So in order to get that right, it does require a little bit of experimentation, I suppose. I mean, I'm 55 now, and the way that I would say train, say 30 years ago, is different to the way that I train now, and my body recovers more slowly now than it previously did. So I need probably more rest in between my workouts, and also I need to make sure that I'm getting in the right nutrients. So that means from a macronutrient perspective, making sure I'm getting in enough, the right amount of protein, plenty of plant food as well, high energy carbohydrates as well at the right times, and doing that consistently, and then getting those micronutrients in too. So whatever comes in through your food, but I also top it up with, I take a multivitamin tablet, I take fish oil, I take a vitamin D capsule as well, so I'm inside a lot. And I take a magnesium one for cramping, and 2 in my legs. They're the main ones that I really take. And then making sure that you get quality sleep. So avoiding the burnout. Normally what I see is that people are training really hard in the gym. They're not eating the right way to match their training to get those results. And then they're also not sleeping sufficiently, not getting quality sleep as well. So you can do that for a period of time. And as you age, it becomes harder and harder. But at any age, you can do it for a period of time before you're going to find that you start to burn out and you start to lack the energy. So it's really getting those things right. And each person's a little bit different. I mean, we talk about that 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Honestly, I don't know too many people that are getting the 8 hours sleep. I operated very effectively because I run my own business as well. I prefer to do it close to the 6. I'm finding nowadays I need probably 6.5 to maybe 7 to make that more effective for me in terms of being recovered and energized for each day for my busy schedule as well. So yeah, good question. Okay. So this one I haven't been asked before. How do you stay updated with the latest nutrition science, and how do you sift through what to implement? It's a good question. I mean, there's just so much information out there. One of the things that's important for me is to make sure that I'm continuously growing. And I do that through a few different ways. Like I watch documentaries, I read the Wall Street Journal. I'm just talking news in general here. I have coaching sessions with my coach multiple times a week to make sure that I'm pushing myself, I'm focused, I'm growing myself for my business and so forth. I also subscribe to, well, I say subscribe, and they're free subscriptions, where I get access to different research and so forth that is happening in the health and fitness space, which often includes nutrition. It also includes, say, the latest research around whether it's diabetes, whether it's Alzheimer's, dementia, whether it's heart disease, etc., etc. And I guess you have to take all of this stuff with a little bit of grain of salt. And they'll say post something and say research, and you dig into the details and you find they've done some research on 30 people. It's like, come on. But then you'll find others where they've done it on, say, 30,000 people, and it's been done over a 10-year period of time and that kind of stuff. So you're going to probably take more away from something like that. So yeah, I mean, I kind of dig into the detail a little bit to see, well, okay, is this really valid? Or a lot of people put out information that perhaps a sensationalized headline, but the devil is in the detail with this stuff. And you look at it and you say, well, at the end of the day, you're saying, well, you've come up with this big headline, but the reality is that it may or may not have an impact, and it depends on, the different person and so forth. In terms of like your diets and that kind of stuff, I mean, they will always come and go. Somebody will come up with a fancier title for something that's kind of just been rebadged or whatever, and it becomes sexy for a period of time. Branding is a massive thing, right? So if you get a celebrity that has said they've done something and it's gotten them this result and people love that celebrity, then they will go and do it. So you do have to look. I look at a lot of this stuff and say, like, take your workouts, for instance. The best way to get the best looking body is going to come down to hard work. There's not going to be a magic machine that comes out that you hop in and you only do it once a day and you're going to have absolutely the body that you and the health that you want. We're not designed that way. We need to do things consistently, smartly over a period of time, and building muscle is hard. So you are going to have to put yourself through some pain. You're going to have to do it consistently in order to do it. And you can just use things like equipment that have been around for, hundreds of years, I suppose now, well, maybe 150 years. Your barbells, your dumbbells, those kinds of things are going to give you what you want. And there's more and more machines and stuff coming out all the time. And your food is very much similar. We need to take in protein. We need to eat healthily. We need to eat good fats. We need to eat plant food. We need to eat high energy carbohydrates as well. It's just that most people are mixing up the formula and eating too much of the wrong things at the wrong time of the day. So that's kind of how I do it. And AI is also great. I use AI, I use ChatGPT. I use the paid version, which is version 4. It's brilliant. I use that to help me with my marketing. I do it to just have different conversations around like business and getting to understand perhaps myself a little bit different. It's really interesting. And also to get insights into like nutrition, latest research and that kind of stuff as well. So that's the way that I do it. There's a question here in mindset. So I've got about 5 questions here. So, okay, so somebody's asked me here. Actually, I thought there was another one that was kind of similar. What daily mindset? Actually, no. They're saying like daily mindset stuff. So in nutrition. No. I've kind of answered some of these before. All right, well, maybe I'll answer this one. So what daily mindset practices do you believe contribute most to your success and high performance? There's a question here that which I'll kind of tie it into something like, actually it's down here. Hang on. Here it is. As someone who aims to live in the top 1% of health for your age, what does your daily routine look like to support that goal? And I'll tie the mindset into this one. So I really like this question because it's near and dear and passionate to me. So I aim to live in the top 1% of health for my age. So that can be relevant for you too. It doesn't matter what age you are. It's not about being the best in the world. It's about being the best version of me at the age that I am. I actually heard that from Lance Armstrong, believe it or not. He was talking about being the best athlete that he could be at the age that he was. And he had phenomenal success. at an old age, just like Tom Brady, right? I met Tom last week, and like he was working till what, 44, 45 at the highest level as quarterback. Just incredible because of the work that he put into his mind, his health, his body, the training, etc. So let me just tell you what my daily routine looks like. So I tend to get up at, well, actually, let me start at the night before. So at the end of the day, what I'm doing is I'm reviewing my success. So I have an app where I record this. I also use Apple Notes where I'm writing in the objectives that I want to achieve for the day. And so at the end of the day, I'm looking at, so what were the 5 outcomes that I set down? How did I go in terms of achieving those things? Did I achieve them all? If I didn't, I carry over into the next day. I rate my day out of 10 in terms of, and that's just my perception of how it went, the overall outcomes. I also rate my effort for the day too, which is really, really important. And then what I do once I've done that, I'm setting down the next 5 outcomes that I want to achieve for the next day. And then I put those into my calendar, making sure I just use Google Calendar, and I'm blocking out those periods of time for those 5 things. Otherwise, if I don't block out the time, they're not going to happen. And so what that does is when I get up each morning, I know exactly what it is that I'm doing. Now, for me, mostly I have a lot of client sessions first thing in the morning. So I will get those done first, and then I'll move on to, those other things through the day. So that sets me up for knowing exactly what it is that I'm doing as soon as I get started. So generally, I'll get up around 5 a.m. at the moment, 5 to 5:30 a.m. Every day, which means that I've got to get to bed a bit earlier at the other end of the day. And look, honestly, I start my wind down sequence around 9:30. It's rare that I would get to sleep at 9:30. I try by 10:30 max to get to sleep so that I can get that 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep that I'm finding I really need at the moment. So then I'm doing anywhere between, right now I think I've got around 44 coaching sessions I do with clients a week. That gets up to sort of like 55 sessions a week as I have clients coming back and so forth. And so that means my week is very busy with those types of things. And then in between clients, I'm working on my own personal growth. So that's doing work with my coach and some of his programs. It means I do neurofeedback training as well. So I haven't got it here, but I wear this straps around the ears like sunglasses, but it goes around your forehead. And I look at an app. They're half-hour sessions, and that helps me to really hone in and improve my mindset, and that really helps me to become more focused. So I'm getting up to close to 200 sessions now, and I'm more focused. The data is real around it and definitely improved. And I find from just how it feels to me, I'm able to focus more deeply for longer periods of time in terms of minutes, but then throughout the whole day, I'm also more focused there as well. So there are kind of some of the mindset things that I'm doing. So I'm working very long days. I work 14, 16-hour sort of days. I work Saturdays and Sundays as well. Today being Sunday is the only day that I don't have client-facing time. So what I'm doing here is I use it to set myself up for success. I use the weekend to do my meal preparation, fill the freezer, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm planning out my week in terms of what are the key things that I want to be achieving by this time next week. And so later today, I will go, so I just use my Apple Notes, and you go through and you kind of like tick them all off through the week. Then I'll go through and look at, so how did the whole week look? What did I achieve for the whole week? I've actually had a pretty good week. And then what do I want to be in the position of this time next week? So I'm continuously growing, continuously pushing myself. In terms of the food and exercise side of things, what I do is I'm eating 6 meals a day. I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have 3 snacks in between. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm normally having something that's got protein, it's got plant-based food, it's got some higher energy food in there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then For my snacks, I'm normally doing something like a smoothie, like a frozen smoothie with whey protein in there and omega-3, like flax meal. It sometimes depends on my schedule. If I'm like back to back over a time when I have a snack, I might do like a high protein bar. They're normally around, I don't know, 28 grams of protein. I really need a little bit more than that, but if it's like I'm stuck and it means missing something or getting something in, I will do that. And then for the evening, I'm normally having perhaps some yogurt, a protein shake, some fruit, something like that. That's what I'm doing at the moment. And in terms of my workout, I said earlier, I do 3 strength sessions a week. I divide my body up into sort of parts. I do like a chest day. I do like legs day. I'm doing before lunch today. I do a back day as well. And like last night, I did like a short sort of arm session as well, biceps and triceps. And yeah, my training looks like that. I aim to get in around the 10,000 steps a day. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm out walking for 10,000 steps. That's 10,000 with incidental walking as well. So I went out for a walk this morning, longer than I would normally do, and it's close to 7,000 steps. And so by the end of today, I will get up the 10,000 steps. I make sure I drink about 3,000 mils, so 3 liters of water a day. I take my daily supplements, as I mentioned earlier, and that's kind of it in terms of how I do it. So it's very structured. I make sure that I get the right amount of protein in. I'm looking for around the 40 grams of protein per meal that I have. So hence why that protein bar of 28 grams is not quite doing it for me, but I have it as a backup so that I avoid missing a meal as well. So that's kind of how I do it, and then making sure that I'm getting around that 6.5 to 7 hours sleep. It's not always possible. Friday night I have late night coaching and I only get about 4.5 to 5 hours sleep. Try and take a nap on Saturday, which I did yesterday for like 20 minutes. And that's kind of how I do it and keep on going. So I find that base of health for me keeps me very focused so that I can do all the other things in my life as well. So great question. I'm going to carry some of these over for next week. So there's some really good ones in there this week. All right, stay safe, everybody. Have a great Sunday. It's going to be a hot one today, like 36 degrees here. So be safe.